see this is the light stand. So I'm going to drop the light all the way down. So this is its lowest position that we can go. It's the height of the counter is the lowest position. And then you can choose to mount the light at this angle, or you can choose to mount it through the top here. Okay, so the light itself has spots for the Sony batteries, the F-type batteries. And it has the ability to switch from a power from an AC adapter or from the batteries that you have installed here in the back. This light mount here has two possibilities to mount through this hole here, or we can mount vertically through this hole, and that's what we'll do now. Vertically like this. Okay, and then I'm going to tighten these, and then I'll turn the light on. So there you go. So if you need to control the amount of light that shines, you can control it with the barn doors. So this is the control for the light. And in here we can change the intensity of the light so that this is dropping the luminosity of the light down. So the maximum value is 5600. The lowest value is 3200 for Kelvin. We can also switch the mode. Okay, so we can switch the mode here. So you can see that we're switching from white light to hue, saturation, intensity to a scene, and there's different scenes that we can do. Party scene, lightning, and there's different modes here as well. Okay, so right now I'm opening up the Neewer app, and I'm looking for my lights. Okay, so I found this light, and we found this light. Okay, so this is the light we're going to change. Okay, so with this app, I can go into this mode, and right from here I can change the color temperature, or I can change the hue brightness. Right, so let's say we want to go, as soon as I start touching one of these sliders, that's what happens. It changes the white mode. So there's 5600 Kelvin and there's 3200. I can change the saturation. As soon as I hit the saturation, it switches to, so now we're in hue, saturation, intensity mode. I can change the dimness all the way down to like the smallest amount, all the way up to the brightest. And then I can rotate through the colors. And you can see as I'm doing that, it's rotating through the circle of colors, right? So at any point I can drag these. I can drag this around and it will automatically change the color of the light. So here we're in the red, let's go to blue. You can see that's the blue there. Let's drop the intensity down. Okay, so then I can change the saturation all the way to 100%. Okay, we can have modes memorized. We can change to a scene. So there's a cop car, there's an ambulance, there's a fire truck. We can switch to party mode. And there's a strobe party mode. And then we actually have candlelight, which if you wanted candlelight, you might want to drop it down just a little bit, just so it's very faint. So the nice thing about the candlelight is if you're doing a cinematic shot and you want some ambient light to simulate it from candles and you don't want the fear of having a candle actually lit, that's probably a better approach. And then we have lightning, which we can increase the brightness of the lightning. We have paparazzi. And then we have a television screen. So this simulates like you're watching a television screen. And you can change the intensity like that. So let's go back to this adjust mode. Now, we can actually set up groups if we want with the lights, in which we can do things together at the same time. So right now we have group 1 created. I want to create a group 2. So how do we create a group? We hit the plus button up here to create a group. So we'll create group 2, which we have, and then in group 2 we will just drag it down to group 2. So I'm going to drag these two 530s down to group 2. Now what will happen is when I work on changing the group, okay, so now we can click on group and okay, so now we can bring up the hue saturation for the group. So this is for the group. So now I can turn the lights off. So both lights are off now that we're set up in this group. And I can turn the lights on. And then I can bring up the properties for this light by hitting this button here. And then both lights are tracking each other now. They're both changing according to the mode that we want it in. And then I can change the saturation for both. And I can change the brightness for both. All right, so we can go through and we can select blue, intensity all the way up. There's green. There's red. Yep, that's red right there. It's quite red. It may be tough to tell on the camera because of white balance, but it is very red. There's blue, there's purple. Probably getting into the area of ultraviolet right there, where if you had something that was fluorescent color, it would show up very well. So that's how you set up groups. That's how you can control a group. So with 3 of these lights, you can do quite a bit. I own several of these lights for my studio, and it really, as you can see here, here's my studio. And I'm able to really improve the quality of my live streams and my recorded video thanks to these Neewer lights.